Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pumpkin cake. Let's begin. To get started on the recipe, you'll want to grab yourself a large mixing bowl, and into your mixing bowl place your butter and your sugar and beat the two together until they are lighter and fluffier in colour and consistency. This normally takes around 5 to 7 minutes depending on the softness of your butter and how warm it is in the environment that you're in. You'll notice it'll be a lot lighter and fluffier, not just in colour, but it'll be a lot paler and it'll be whippier. It'll look like it's been whipped like this, and that's when you know you're good to go. You can then go ahead and start adding your eggs and vanilla, beating the eggs in one at a time, beating well in between each addition, otherwise you might scramble the mixture and that's not what you're looking to do. So add your eggs, mix well in between each addition and you're good to go. If the mixture splits a little bit towards the end, don't worry, you've added a lot of moisture in and it's quite normal, so don't worry about it too much. You can then go ahead and add in half of your pumpkin. I found adding it in all in one go really doesn't help the mixture, but adding half at a time and mixing well helps to stop the mixture from splitting. So do it that way, or whichever way works best for you. Then give the bowl a good scraping down just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on. You can then go ahead and place in all of the dry ingredients and just mix it in on a low speed to start with, working you out to a medium high speed and then until a clear cake batter, being careful not to over mix the mixture, or if you have the mixture on too high at the start, you'll have a massive cloud of dry ingredients in your kitchen, which is never fun to clean up. Then you can go ahead and give the bowl one final scraping down just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on. Now take your cake tins and make sure that they've been lined or brushed over with some oil and split the cake batter 3 ways equally, as you'll want to have the same amount of batter in each tin. So I like to weigh and measure mine up, but feel free to eyeball it if you're pretty confident like that. Then you can just go ahead and make sure that the cake batter has been spread and leveled out in the cake tins. This helps with the consistency of the baking, ensuring that they are all baked the same. You don't want to have one that's more baked or even raw, that's really not ideal. While your cakes are in the oven, you can make your buttercream, so grab yourself a bowl and then place in your egg and egg yolks and whisk those on a medium to high speed until they are lighter and fluffier in colour and consistency. It will be quite a pale yellow colour. Then into a saucepan you'll want to place your sugar and water and mix the two together and then place on the hob over a medium-high heat. It only takes a short while for the sugar and water mixture to come up to 121 degrees and for again a short while for your eggs to come up to the right consistency. So once your liquid mixture has reached the right temperature and your eggs are at the right stage, you can go ahead and turn the mixer down and slowly but steadily add in the hot sugar syrup. And if you do this too quickly, you will get it everywhere and it will burn you, and this will really burn, so be careful with how you add this. If you need to, trickle it down the side of the bowl and not directly onto the whisk, otherwise it may go everywhere and any injuries are your own fault, so there you go. Turn the speed back up to high and then whisk until the bottom of the bowl can be touched with the back of your hand. Once you can, you're good to go to start adding in the butter. Add a piece at a time until it has been fully incorporated. Maybe 2 or 3 once that you've added around about a third of your butter, but no more than that at a time, otherwise it may make the mixture become a little too loose and then it won't set up as a buttercream. Just keep whisking until everything is incorporated and then you should end up with something that looks a little bit like this. I whisked mine for a bit further and got this lovely kind of off-white colour. Added in my vanilla and mixed that in until it was fully incorporated, then it was good to go. So I took my stand, you can use a plate or a board, and smeared a small amount of buttercream into the centre, and this is just to secure that first layer of cake in place. You can then on top of that place your first layer of cake, which has been brushed over with simple syrup. The simple syrup is optional. Top that with a good amount of buttercream and just spread and level it out until you have a consistent layer of buttercream. Again, you can use as much or as little as you like, the choice is really up to you. You can then top that with another layer of cake and repeat the process of adding the buttercream and the other layer of cake until you've got all 3 layers of your cake done. So once your cake has been stacked, you can then go ahead and start to pipe on the buttercream. I am not doing a crumb coat on this cake as I didn't want it to look perfect. It was meant to be a quick and easy Thanksgiving sort of treat. So that's what I did. I just put my buttercream into a piping bag and piped it all the way around. It doesn't have to be neat as you'll be smoothing it out anyway. Just get as much on there as possible. And then I like to scrape it now just to get rid of some of that excess, because any bits with crumbs in are no good. But for this cake, you can probably reuse it as it's not looking to be perfect. It's a little more rustic. But then make sure you fill the top in and get that all coated and levelled out as best as you possibly can. Then you'll need to scrape again. But just scrape until you are happy with the cake. And then on top, I just did one of those little swirls with an offset spatula and just did a spiral on top. You don't have to, again, just simple decoration. But then to add some colour and a bit more of a festive feeling, I thought I'd use these little autumn leaves, sprinkles that I got from, I don't know where, but you can probably find them online, and just placed a border around the bottom. Not looking for it to be perfect again, but if you wanted it to be perfect, you could do that. But again, it's up to you. And I use the same sprinkles around the top edge of the cake once I've added the drip. This is optional, but I found that white chocolate and pumpkin work really well together, and plus the drip adds a bit more of a decorative element to otherwise a kind of plain cake. So I just piped all the drips around the edge until the cake was fully coated with a drip. And while the chocolate is still a little bit tacky, I go ahead and place on some of those autumn leaf sprinkles that I use around the bottom of the cake. You don't have to do this, but again, it adds a bit more colour. And then once the cake is fully decorated, you can go ahead and start to slice it up. I found that you get 8 very generous portions from this, but you could probably push it to 10 or 12 smaller portions and could be enjoyed by more people. But yeah, as you can tell, 3 layers of pumpkin cake, which is really good. But I hope that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more from me. And I'll be back again soon with another recipe, so join me then. In the meanwhile, don't forget to check out the description. I'll be a link to this recipe, a link to my blog, and links to all my social media. So don't forget to go and follow me over on there. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Bye, guys.